this 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 this.
Now, I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie or not. I mean, it took me forever to watch the movies. I'm not gonna lie. Animated movies always take me forever. But this is a really good one. This movie and this series of movies is just basically an interesting take on your emotions and how they work within like your own brain. You have the main protagonist, which is our main character. Her name's Riley, you know, and she's just like she's just a kid. But the interesting part about this movie series is that what it does is it goes into her mind, and the characters that we see in there are just the different emotions that, you know, every person would have. Every person does have these emotions, but we're seeing it from her perspective. Now, with that out of the way, this is an analog horror series that goes by the name of the Inside Out tapes, because we can't have nothing nice around here. Somebody don't win and curse this very wholesome series. You proud of yourself? I think I've kind of spoken enough about pretty much everything that's going on, and I'm not sure if this is the end of the series or not. So far, I only see 2 volumes, but it seems like the second one would have wrapped it up. Either way, we're gonna go jump into this now. This series is called Inside Out Tapes. So basically, to summarize the start of the first tape, what's going on here is Riley is constantly looping in this same memory over and over and over again. Whatever that memory is, it's taking a toll on her. As you can see here, that memory is not a good memory, and it's not one that she can do anything about. As you can see, she's literally over here losing her mind. It says her mental state is uncontrolled due to the fact that this memory is repeating itself. And if we skip a little bit forward, we find out that that memory that keeps repeating itself is a traumatic event that just so happened to happen to the family. See, I can't tell for sure here whether they ran somebody over, they got hit by the car, or I don't know what else could have happened here. It looks like they hit someone with the car or something like that, and maybe that was traumatic enough to do that to her. I mean, she's just a kid. It's understandable if seeing something like that as a kid would be traumatic to you. So this could totally just be it. And then whatever that creature is slides up from behind some books. Like, dude, this is terrifying. See, what it seems to me, what's happening right here. You can see Joy get infected, and I believe she's also the first one to get infected in that scene. I'm not sure about this part, okay, but I'm pretty sure the person that infected her may have been the person that they would have hit by the car or something like that. Whatever led up to that traumatic event affected her joy, affected Riley's happiness, leading up to Joy being corrupted with that traumatic event. You following? Pretty sure that's what they're hinting at here. I don't know, I could be wrong, but I think that's what they're trying to portray. And naturally, joy is one of the strongest emotions a human being can have. Naturally, it's one of the leading ones, and even in the movie, she's kind of a leading emotion, trying to make sure everything stays in order. So naturally, you take joy out first, everything else is falling apart. And you can see that in this too, as everybody else starts to get infected, with the exception of just a few of them, actually. You can also see like these changes in Joy over time. Whatever has infected her literally has infected her, and she starts to change. She becomes something else. It's no longer Joy. That brings up like a lot of metaphorical stuff too. I don't want to get too nerdy here, make it too hard for you guys to decipher anything like that, but picture it like this. Let's just say when Joy gets infected, it becomes something entirely different. What does that new emotion even become? All we know is that the joy that used to be present in your mind, that happiness that you used to have, is no longer there and it's been replaced with something else. You may not even be able to register what that emotion is, but that's basically what's happening here. And that's what happened when Joy got taken out. See, you'll notice they say anxiety locked Joy into a jar. in order to make sure, you know, they could figure out what was going on to stay safe, you know, because clearly she's different. And that's a metaphor in itself. Anxiety would be the one to do that, because anxiety is the reason we fear in the first place. And if something drastic were to happen to one of your most essential emotions, I think you'd be a bit anxious. See, next up, you can actually see even Envy. Envy has been affected by whatever this traumatic event was leading up to it. Envy has been affected, and Envy has changed due to the fact that the trauma has affected Riley. You can see the drastic change in that, and that's basically what's happening to all of the emotions. There are like 3 emotions that aren't necessarily affected by what's happening here, and it's because the kind of emotions they are the emotions that would naturally resist these kind of things. So you'll see here, all the other emotions, with the exception of the 3, they have either been wiped out or infected and changed into something else. Now, sadness and anger have been completely just murdered. They're just dead. And really all that implies is the new mind of Riley with this trauma has no place for either of those things. But if you notice, anxiety is still there. Anxiety's crippled on top of that. The next thing we see here is actually a message. Pretty much. Let's say this is the trauma and the culmination of all of her emotions speaking to her at the same time, based off of what her new mind is like. And basically what it's telling her here is it's time to make some changes. In other words, it's similar to your mind telling you that you're better off not being on this earth. It's telling her to kill herself. And trauma does typically do that.
It's time to make some changes. It's time to drop everything. It's time to...
And unfortunately, at the end of this tape, you do see her make an attempt to do so. But there is another tape. So let's move on to that one. So we start off and she's just kind of standing on a chair here, as you can see, shifting between the previous her and the new her. You can tell there's a clear difference between the two of them, as one of them is actually traumatized. Her standing on that chair too does imply she's pretty much wrapping a noose around her neck. She's ready to take herself out. Basically what's happening here is you'll see that fear, anxiety, and NUI have pretty much grouped up. They're the last 3 remaining ones that haven't been either infected or pretty much killed. And also it kind of makes sense as to why those 3 wouldn't have necessarily been affected by the changes, because those are some of the emotions that would either coincide with the new changes or just naturally resist them. But basically in her mind what's happening here is they're traveling together trying to, I guess, find a way to fix this problem. On the way over there, they find embarrassment, and he doesn't look too embarrassed anymore now, does he? A lot of the times when the trauma affects you so deeply due to whatever disorder you have, it can legitimately make it to where the embarrassment that you previously had, it changes. Like, you don't care anymore. You don't care enough to be embarrassed. It happens. And I'm pretty sure that's what we're seeing here. The embarrassment is not embarrassment anymore. It's something different now. Embarrassment, for whatever reason, doesn't attack them though, but they do decide to go off into a different direction. And they run into Joy. Yeah, NUI blows a hole in her face. I'm not necessarily sure what that implies about what actually happened to her mentally here. I'm not sure if that means all the joy that was remaining in Riley's head is now gone entirely, like it's been killed off, like there's no joy left. I don't know. I just know that this emotion blows a hole into her head.
This. 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 This.
So something interesting happens here when we're watching the last moments of Joy before she was infected, and it says that whatever this thing is that led up to the trauma has been around for a while, and it's not even so much that it came specifically from the accident. Basically, after that, an alarm plays, and I'm pretty sure what this alarm is saying that Riley's about to die. That alarm goes off, I guess, when there's some serious stuff going on inside Riley's body. And this is them knowing what's going on, because they say the only thing that can save her is a miracle right now. Unfortunately for us, a miracle does happen. Come to find out that she's been on medication that she did not take. So in other words, I believe all of this is a direct result of trauma from probably that accident that happened in the beginning. Okay, so she was about to kill herself just then, but she remembers something differently. Also, there's a barcode there. I want to scan that. What in the world? So this barcode basically takes you to a website that is literally just a website that gives you an explanation on what psychosis is. See, what I'm going to have to conclude from this series is just that after that traumatic event that Riley went through, it led her into having a mental disability. Like you heard her mom say, did you take your medication? Whatever that event was, that traumatic event that happened, it developed psychosis within her that became a new mental disability. And what we saw, all these events that were playing out, that's what was going on in her mind. This pretty much confirms that that's what that was. This is why things are this way in her mind. This isn't actually happening. Her emotions aren't dying. This is not happening. That is an incredible take on something like this, and it's a really interesting way of making something so horrific seem a bit more humane, because realistically speaking, I'm sure people that suffer from psychosis legitimately feel like that's what's going on in their mind, and it's hard to differentiate from real life and fiction. That's the thing about mental disability, dude. It's a scary thing. You take it seriously. If you have medication, you have it for a reason. Please take your stuff. Take care of yourself, man. This stuff is scary. Also makes me wonder too, though, did this trauma possibly affect nostalgia first? Considering trauma typically doesn't let you move past it like that, that would kind of be the opposite of what nostalgia is. Nostalgia is pretty much being reminiscent of things from the past. It's typically associated with good memories and things that just kind of had to happen, things that were different back in the day that you may be missing now, but it's usually associated with a positive memory. I feel like trauma probably affected that as well, not allowing her to move forward past that trauma. I mean, she is just a kid, hard to process emotions when you're just a kid and when they're still developing. That's why it's so important to keep your kids safe, man. But yeah, man, that was the Inside Out tapes. This was fascinating. I really loved diving into this and kind of speaking, you know, on an emotional level, because I don't do that very often, but I do find the human mind fascinating. Emotions and everything like that is dope, and this is a really cool series. It was really well executed, and I really liked it, and if they come out with more of it, I'll probably cover it. Well, I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, man, if you guys want to see more content like this, you know, send me recommendations, you know, analog horror, you know, just random series that you guys think I would enjoy watching, reacting to, and stuff you just want me to see. What? I don't know what I just said. But yeah, man, make sure y'all strike that like button and subscribe. Peace out.